Hello, League, and welcome back to Ronin Radio. We who do not catch any breaks salute you. Following a rather sad but intoxicating week of fantasy, I bore witness to the immediate results of Deshaun Watson going out for the rest of the season. Really terrible timing. And it was no surprise at all. Now, Tank never texts me from work, but upon hearing that news, he had to text me to express his condolences about Watson and really my season as a whole, because he knew. I mean, Watson was playing incredibly, and with Will Fuller, I had found a dangerous 1-2 punch that seemed pretty damn secure to the point that I knew I could consistently put up at least good numbers. Although I have a capable replacement in the form of a championship-winning QB, it still left a glaring hole at wide receiver. Will Fuller was just too valuable, and the replacement of Watson with Tom Savage, whom despite having the coolest name ever, simply is not the same. And I'm not the only one who thinks so. An article I read had the author expressing his feelings on the subject that Tom Savage could totally be a starter in Canada, or arena football, but he has no business starting in the NFL. If he did, he wouldn't have been benched in the first game of the season in favor of a rookie. And as we all found out, Houston's offense looks much better with a pair of legs underneath it. But in the wake of the dynamic Deshaun's injury, who do they pad their roster with?
Matt McGloin or whoever else they bring in, TJ Yates.
Come on, Houston. Make better choices. Even analysts on Sunday night were talking about how poor of a decision it would be not to bring Cap in. Come on, man. Beyond that, though, my game marked an absolute collapse in my running game, in part because my late-game hopeful Aaron Jones, who logged 44 of 55 snaps in his last game, was for some reason forgotten this week. After a failed block by the running back, he seemed to disappear, with Ty Montgomery jumping in for a few and some late-game moments, including a touchdown going to Jamal Williams. Mike McCarthy, for some reason, is still trying to run the Aaron Rodgers offense, which is exclusively pass-happy despite the fact that they learned right before their bye week that they can go smash-mouth utilizing Aaron Jones as the workhorse. No such luck for me. Alas, on the other side, Gabe featured a late-game standout, Matt Stafford, and the Detroit D. Stafford was really the MVP here, though. 361 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no picks? Well done. So my team is again in pieces, as next week I face Gabs with a lot of buys. So wish me luck. I was really hoping this next one would be the GOTW because the Smith Bowls are usually exciting, but Chris is just not the same this year as he's been in seasons past. Wins are just not coming as easy, and players are not living up to the hype. My man started 3 bucks, and they all scored under 3 points. One was ejected from the game, one didn't even turn in a full single point. And he continues to not listen to me regarding Marvin Jones, whom lit it up on Monday night. But whatever, Chris. Keep benching him and keep starting Isaiah Crowell. In fact, trade Marvin Jones to me. I can totally give you a receiver worth leaving on the bench if that's what you want. I could use a starter. Feel like dealing Hopkins? Ryan, on the other hand, has regained his steam. Alex Smith remains starter material, and T.Y. had quite the explosive game. Goodness. Golden Tate played ball, but everyone else floated a little closer to earth. Tank and McHale had a classic for the ages that ended with Tank crushing McHale with great outputs by Tyrod Taylor and a rather rowdy backfield spearheaded by AP and Christian McCaffrey. Honorable mention to Doug Baldwin and Jared Cook. McHale, yeah, Evan Ingram would have been a better play at tight end, but he wouldn't have been the saving grace you needed to pull a win from that one. You can still take solace in knowing that you would have beaten any of the other teams that also lost this week, myself included. Good God, is it finally that time? Yes, in fact it is. It's time for the
Game of the Week.
And the owner of this one, I'm certain is obvious. I'm talking about Tony v. Gabs. A showdown for the century. This game probably wouldn't have been the GOTW if not for the fact that a team from the bottom half of the league managed to put an extra 100 points on the number 1 team in the league, in true blowout fashion. Tone's attack was led by the unlikeliest candidate, Jared freaking Goff. Sean McVay has turned him, at the very least, into a bona fide fantasy starter as the Rams beat the ever-loving shit out of the Giants. Amazing that a team that spent so much money on their defense allowed someone to put up 51 points against them and has only won 1 game this year. That has to hurt. Looks like Ben McAdoo's days are numbered in New York. He is clearly losing control. A strong outing in every department, Tone, and no wasted points on the bench. Well coached. That's a week when everything goes right. That's a great example of it. Everyone look, pay attention. Gabs, just terrible fate there. Certain superstars just did not pull their weight for you. Of course, I'm sure you'll be right back on track. Of course, I hope not, because you go on to face me. The number 1 versus the number 8. Fight! Just kidding. Seriously though, here is our tale of the tape this week.
This is our time right now. Just wanna hear the sound. I'm running my mouth just so you on. I feel the beat coming through the wall. Just wanna hear the sound. This is our time right now.
Remember everyone, Don Shula says, luck means a lot in football. Not having a good quarterback is bad luck. See you soon.
Double boy, you just filling in. Keep filling in. Cameras, action. Alien ant form, unleash the kraken.